Okay, I want to introduce a new concept to you. And that's the idea that when you make an opinion about something, an opinion is different from a fact. A fact is something that everybody could agree upon that this is the way something is. Now, sometimes we have different interpretation of the facts, and that leads us to an opinion. And sometimes our facts, we have to discuss them and figure out what is the right fact. For example, if we say that gravity pulls things to the earth, we would accept that as a fact. Now, in actuality, it has to do with how big the mass of an object is. So the sun, which is bigger than the earth, is actually pulling the earth to the sun. But for the most part, when we talk about things on earth, we can agree that gravity pulls things to the earth. That is a fact. An opinion would be something like, I think gravity is scary, or I don't think we should always trust gravity. And then you could back that up with facts. For example, there are some places, I've never been there, that they say that there's anti-gravity. I think there's one in Oregon that things actually are pushed away from Earth. Don't know that for sure, haven't seen it. But anyway, what you start off with is an initial opinion. See if I can do this. And then the TIAL makes a shull sound. And initial is when you hear something, you will usually form an opinion about it right away. Like if you heard that elephants are going extinct, you might go, whoa, that's not okay, right? So your initial opinion, it's your first judgment. If you're being a critical thinker, the next thing you want to do is form an educated opinion. You want to learn more about the topic. Obviously, we've been talking about dams and steelhead. An opinion is I need more experience. Actually, this might be a fact when it comes to using the camera and actually staying on camera when I'm trying to teach. But an educated opinion is when you learn more about the topic. And you learn enough to the point that you think, okay, I've got some reasons, whether it's logic or whether it's emotional, reasons that back up my opinion. When you do enough research, you can then have an expert opinion. And that, depending on what your topic is, might take years, might take months, who knows, to learn about a specific topic or problem, and then have an idea as to how you think it should be solved. So an initial is your first judgment when you've learned enough to say, okay, these are the reasons why I have this opinion. Then it's more of an educated opinion. And then when you know so much that you can actually teach others about the topic truthfully, then it would be an expert opinion. Now, different people will define those terms different ways, but I think for our project, the dams and the steelhead, I think that's a pretty good definition of those three terms. So I am tasking you with the concept of, are you have an initial opinion about whether we should or should not breach the dams? Have you read enough where you think you have an educated opinion, where you can speak intelligently and say, these are my reasons, emotional or logical, why we should or should not breach the dams? And just FYI, you do not have an expert opinion yet. Yeah, you need to spend probably years researching this topic to really understand it to the level that you say, this is why we should do what we do, and I'm going to teach you why. Now, just because you're not an expert doesn't mean you can't share your opinion, and that will be our project, which we will be starting Thursday.